So good thing it's a 30-hour flight. The concepts were there, but I'm telling you this because um, the time slots that I had set aside to do the podcast were now consumed with another project, me saying yes to go into Australia. Okay. And so I go to Australia, I do my thing, I come back, and now I'm sitting in Dallas where literally I am presenting again for the company that I'm with, and lots of responsibility, lots of things going on there. I'm telling you that because the most important thing in the process as an entrepreneur is that you are pushing yourself, that you're not in the comfort zone. When there's an opportunity, you say yes. There was an opportunity given to me. I said, yes, we'll figure it out. Okay. Now, along the way, you have to protect your energy. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. First, I have to just say, well, if you're on YouTube, you're obviously seeing I am not in my home office. Maybe the microphone sounds a little bit off. I am in Dallas, Texas, and I just arrived. I just got off the airplane. And I know I've been missing for a couple weeks, I guess you could say. There's been a couple Mondays. The last 2 Mondays, I've been airborne in the air to Australia and back. And typically, when I do these type trips, I pre record days in advance the content for the podcast. Well, that obviously didn't happen. And it's going to be the topic for our podcast this week. Not the fact that I didn't do the podcast the last couple of weeks, but how do you handle situations when you're on overload? I bet a lot of you have felt that way before, where you're on overload, where you've got well, hopefully you guys are saying yes to opportunities and then trying to figure it out. And so that's what I do. And sometimes the cost of that is I get on overload and then I have to manage it. And that's what this podcast is about, is managing overload, because I believe as an entrepreneur, if you don't experience overload somewhat frequently, you're not pushing hard enough. And you need to have certain checks and balances in place. So I'm going to share with you just some simple things that I've done to keep myself where I am still highly productive in overload mode, or in that little time frame. Okay. So yes, I'm in this hotel. I'm hoping this is coming out as clear as possible. But I think you guys will appreciate, because this is real life. This is how it goes. And I figured, what I really wanted to do is get to this hotel, get comfortable, maybe go to the gym, stretch out, get a little workout in. I haven't eaten lunch, although I'm on some pretty good supplements, so I'm hanging in there pretty tough right now. So first things first is, a lot of times you have to do some things that you don't really want to do, right? And so why do we do it? Well, it's because it's what allows us to live the life that we want to live. You can't necessarily just do the things that you want to do and have the freedoms that you also want. There's some sacrifice in there. Okay. Let's stay on topic though, for how do we protect ourselves when we're in overload. So I will tell you guys, I live my life by saying yes to a lot of things, and then I have to figure it out. Okay. So I was asked to go over to Australia to do an event over there. And prior to that, I've been very involved in some other projects with the company and with my company. And so I literally was writing up my presentations. I spoke 3 times while I was in Australia in the same day. So 3 presentations. I opened the show, I had a presentation towards the middle of the day, and then I closed it at the end. Okay. So I had 3 presentations that I literally had not completed before I got on the airplanes to go to Australia. So good thing it's a 30-hour flight. And so the concepts were there, but I'm telling you this because um, the time slots that I had set aside to do the podcast were now consumed with another project, me saying yes to go into Australia. Okay. And so I go to Australia, I do my thing, I come back, and now I'm sitting in Dallas where literally I am presenting again for the company that I'm with, and lots of responsibility, lots of things going on there. I'm telling you that because the most important thing in the process as an entrepreneur is that you are pushing yourself, that you're not in the comfort zone. When there's an opportunity, you say yes. There was an opportunity given to me, I said yes, we'll figure it out. Okay. Now along the way, you have to protect your energy. That's kind of one of the key things that I want you guys to get here. Did I realize I was not going to have the podcast the last Monday? Yes. And then it was my intention when I got there to shoot a podcast from Australia so that I wouldn't miss 2. That didn't happen either. So in order for me to be as effective as possible in Australia, I had to really focus and start protecting and prioritizing my time. Right. So lesson number 1, guys, if you're feeling overloaded, if you're feeling like you're pushing too much, lesson 1 is you have to protect your energy because people are going to buy you, not what you sell. So they're watching. All right. And so I had to be in front of groups of people, and my energy had to be, well, really the highest energy in the room. If I walk in the room and I'm bringing someone's energy down, that's not a successful meeting. When I walk into the meeting, I need to be the highest energy source of the meeting, or one of. I have to match. Okay? I don't have to be the highest, but I definitely have to match the highest energy in the room. Because that way, what you've prepared to deliver is heard and not missed. Right. So, number 1, protect your energy so that you are performing at a high level. So, how do you protect your energy? You have to prioritize. So the podcast is extremely important to me. It is. And I'm grateful for the feedback that I get from a lot of you. You guys send me some great messages that really does it keeps a smile on my face. It keeps me understanding the significance of the sacrifice that I'm making to do these podcasts. So I appreciate the messages. Nevertheless, the podcast does not come in front of some other things in my life. Okay. If it wasn't for my business, there wouldn't be an income. That income is what allows me to do this podcast. This is extra. I don't have to do a podcast, right? This is extra for me. And so I had to prioritize some things that must come before other things. And I believe that's why a lot of people get overloaded is not only overloaded, but overloaded and then burned out. So I guess I've felt burned out at times, but it's so rare that I can't even remember, guys. I am never burned out, right? Like I am never to the point where I just want to give up. And it's because I prioritize things in my life and I don't allow other things to interfere. So I told you I was going to potentially do a podcast while I was in Australia. I thought that would have been really cool to do. And I had some downtime. I did have some downtime while I was there, but I prioritized that downtime for me to reset mentally. I was going so hard every day. I literally needed some downtime, some quiet time, some time away from the space to recharge my batteries so that when I was ready to go later that night or the next day, my batteries were charged. Okay. And so did I have the time? Yes, we all have the time. Did I have the time to shoot the podcast in Australia? Absolutely, I had the time. But I chose to do something else. And it's okay for you guys to say that as long as the time that you're choosing to do something else is charging your batteries. It's getting you back where you need to be. Some people will not do the things that are on their list to do, and they'll just fill it with worthless things where their batteries are not being charged. And that's the whole point of this whole podcast, guys, is you're going to get overloaded, but know how to charge the batteries, know what fills you up, and then also know what's a waste of time. All right. So that's number one, guys, is prioritize that time so that you absolutely can be performing at a super high level. The other thing is being okay, I guess, being okay with the fact that well, let me stop and back up. John Maxwell told me something a long time ago. And he said leadership and leading people, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. I know the gist of it, is making mistakes at a level that people will accept. And what he was saying is, I don't think people expect any of us to be perfect. We're not machines, right? And so we all have a level of forgiveness for other people. And I hope with my consistency over 60 something weeks straight, that to have a couple weeks without the podcast can be forgiven. Right. And then you can see the fact that I'm not perfect. I'm not a machine. I hope that kind of motivates some of you guys. I mean, sometimes people think that because of the success I've had, I'm like this some freak of nature, and I'm not. Like, we're human, right? We leaders are human, and there are going to be moments where you're not hitting the mark in every phase of your life. And as long as you recognize that and adjust, then things are going to be fine. Maxwell, you know, um, he says there's two type people he's afraid to be around. The people that never make mistakes, because if you never are making mistakes, you're not trying, you're going nowhere. And people that make the same mistakes over and over. Like, those, you don't want to be with those people, right? That's silliness. And so yeah, I leading up to this thing, I could have done some things differently, and I'm going to be adjusting the way I approach my assignments and responsibilities as I'm leaving the country. um, on top of that, I've got some other investment projects that are just taking a massive amount of my attention and time too. And we've also been in the middle of a merger with another company. So there's been a tremendous amount of abnormally plentiful and long Zooms that I just have not been a part of my normal schedule. So, nevertheless, I've got to make some adjustments in order for me to be able to perform at a high level. But it happens, right? But the overwhelming approach for me through my week, and I hope for you guys, is I protect my energy. I'm good right now. I'm coming into this event. I'm going to be on point with thousands of people every day. They're going to be asking me questions and wanting to engage, and they're going to want to be introducing me to their people. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for me, because when something is important to someone else, I try to be very attentive. And so my brain is literally on overload when I'm talking to hundreds and thousands of people. I won't talk to thousands, but there are thousands of people here. And I'm going to be presenting. I'm closing the show down on Saturday night. So it's a lot. And in order for me to be at a peak performance level, my energy has to be good. And I'm good. I'm ready. In fact, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm heading down to the gym. I'm gonna take care of myself. And yeah, it's gonna be good. So when you find yourself overloaded, the next time you're feeling overwhelmed, overloaded, pause and know the number one thing is to protect your energy. Because if your energy drops, it's not good for your family. It's not good for your business. It's not good for you. You've got to protect your energy. And the way I protect my energy is prioritizing. I have to sit back and get, what is the most important two or three things I have to do right now? And then those things have to be done. I can't let my, like, some of the little, selfish thoughts of just relax, Brandon, just take it. No, I can't do that. Right now, also a part of my priorities, like I said, the top 2 or 3 things can be like what's called quote unquote self care. I just told you I'm going to the gym, right? I'm not completely done with my notes for Saturday. I don't have it memorized. I've got time, like I've got more work to do on my clothes on Saturday. And that might blow some of your mind. Like I'm gonna be in front of thousands of people, and that presentation is not done right now. In fact, it probably will not be done until Saturday morning. And even then, I might make some adjustments as I get a feel for the event. However, like I'm going to the gym, and some of you might think, well, why in the world would you be going to the gym, taking that time instead of finishing the part where you're gonna be in front of thousands of people? It's my energy. I might finish the part, but if I'm not taking care of myself and I get run down physically, then who cares if I know the part memorized down to the every last word, but my energy's bad. My energy has to be good. So does yours. People buy you before they buy your product or service. They buy your energy. People can tell. People can tell. So it's okay to be overloaded. Recognize it, prioritize some things, get your energy right. I'm good. The podcast is good. Some of you guys reached out and were concerned, like, hey, what's going on with the podcast? Nothing's wrong with the podcast. In fact, we've got big plans for the podcast for the future. I've got some big plans coming for 2026 that's going to allow all of you, all of my listeners, to really, really get your hands on some information in a faster, more effective way, I believe. And I think it's going to help you grow in your business opportunities. So I'm looking forward to rolling that out for you guys. But for now, that's a wrap from Dallas. Thank you guys for being on our podcast. Share this out with your friends. Share this out with people that you collaborate with, that you share business thoughts with. This is for real. Your energy is for real. Protecting your energy is for real. Overload, burnout is for real, but there's ways to avoid it and be effective anyway. So see you guys next week.